thanks for having me here. I'm loving it every day more and more in my job. And actually, it's not a job. I just love going to the office and gets me out of chores at home. But anyway, I've been doing this for 48 years, my 48th year. And I actually retired in 2016, and then I was elected first in 2016 and just was reelected in my third term. But I just love the opportunity to share some of the bright things we're doing in the school district. But I was thinking about what I was going to say today, and, you know, technology is such a big impact on everything we do. You know, the AI thing and Chat GPT and all that kind of stuff. And it made me think about, I just had a wedding anniversary for 20 years. My wife and I have been married 20 years. And, you know, we both have sets of kids and all that. And our wedding was really cool. It was on July 1st of 2005. We got married in my niece's backyard. And out there, all it was in the background was woods. So we took a nice wedding picture, my wife and I, and then we had all of our kids line up and their significant others. And actually, we had one of my daughters had a boyfriend. And somehow he was able to slip in the middle of the family for the family picture. So as luck would have it, they broke up later on. And, you know, you can't have somebody in your family picture who's not in the family. So because of technology, my point is the wonders of technology. And by the way, when we posed, we had the trees and the woods behind us as a background. As luck would have it, they broke up, and we made that guy a tree. So we digitally removed him. My wife had somebody who digitally removed him from the photo, but they didn't quite do good enough because after we looked at it, there was still a pair of shoes in there. His feet were still in the picture, so we had to go back and cover his feet up. But so now the lesson is, if we do family pictures and you're not married or you're not part of the family, you stand on the edge. That way we can chop you off. So anyway, it's great to be here. I really appreciate you inviting me, and just want to show you a couple things about our vision. We're here about shaping the future, and that's exactly what we're doing. And our mission statement, you see that? So, and you'll see the next picture, the reason we do this for our kids. But I want to share with you some of the stuff that just want to highlight. Academic progress, and y'all have heard this story before. When I came in office in 2016, grad rates were in the tank, 54.9%. And y'all have heard the story about how we've had people come in who want to, you know, develop property or bring their businesses in and change their mind because our grad rate was dismal. And because of some systems we put in place over the years, we've been able to really ramp it up at a high of 92.5% at one time. And then we've been above the state average for the last 3 years. So I'm really proud of that. And more than anything else, we are doing that to really provide kids with the opportunities to really contribute to our community. And these are kids who, when they cross that stage of graduate, we want them to have a reason to graduate. Just don't get a piece of paper and, you know, be on your own. We want to give them some tools and some opportunities right here in our district that they otherwise wouldn't have. So again, we put some things in place that I'll talk about. We've been real big on our career programs. Over the last 3 or 4 years, we've been able to add building construction in all 3 of our comprehensive high schools. We've been able to add advanced manufacturing. We partner with Georgia Pacific, like in 2017, because Georgia Pacific needed more employees with that high demand, high wage, those skills, because their people are retiring, like a lot of businesses now. We've also been able to add firefighting and welding and automotive and all the things that are happening here in Putnam County. We want to be in a position where our kids can get those high-paying jobs. Matter of fact, I was real encouraged today. I was at the county commission, and they were talking about the new port they're talking about bringing in. And I'm really excited about that because, you know, the jobs that are be created for that port are going to be amazing, and our kids could just fall right into those when those places open up. Especially, I told them about Space Florida. Space Florida is looking about coming here and having space industry here in Putnam County. They can produce satellites and rocketry and that type thing right here in Pulatka, put it on a barge, ship it up the river out of Palatka and back down to the Cape. And we're in a perfect position having that inland seaport to do that. You can see all the different career programs we offer, and it is really amazing. The one I'm really excited about is our aviation program. And we started that several years ago. We actually received funding from the state of Florida the previous year, and then last year we received over $300,000 to pay for flight hours. We provide flight school, ground school in the classroom, but now we provide our kids the opportunity to actually earn their pilot's license by flying in airplanes. And we've actually had 4 of our students fly solo. So if you see any of our kids flying around an airplane, they're supposed to be up there. But anyway, what an opportunity. And our kids, they get that pilot's license, they can be in a position where they can earn a commercial license at some point in time. And the demand for commercial pilots is amazing right now. We want to position them to do that. The next one is talking about our what we're doing for our employees. You know, once we hire teachers and employees, we don't want to lose them. And we've put some things in place where our teachers, we really provide a lot of mentoring and provide them a lot of support when they come to work with us. And our retention rate for teachers have risen from 65% for 0 to 3-year teachers to over 90%, which means we don't have to go out and hire somebody else and retrain them. So that's one I'm really proud of. But one thing we've been able to do, and you probably saw this in the news, is we are now providing free health care for our employees. If they're on our insurance plan, we've been able to lower our claims where we're now self-insured, and we have a wellness center located right next to the hospital where they can actually walk in like a walk-in clinic and not have to pay a dime, even get free medication. So again, that's one of those things we can use to really attract talent and really just provide that much needed service for our employees. So I'm very proud of that. We have a lot of emphasis on communication. We're always trying to control our narrative and get the positive out there. And we started doing podcasts, I think about 4 years ago. We did them, sound only. Now we're actually doing a voice and video. You see here, just last week I interviewed the 3 high school football coaches, and that's always a lot of fun. Since we started, I think we have videoed or we have recorded about 95 podcasts. So we're really doing a lot of them. Matter of fact, I plan on interviewing Gina and Yvette representing the Rotary Club. And by the way, thank you very much for providing the scholarship money for our kids. But I want to reach out not only and talk to people within the school district, I want to interview people outside the school district in our community and find out what's going on. And as a matter of fact, I'm really excited that we are going to set up a way we can interview people in any part of the United States. We're going to do a virtual podcast, and I'm going to invite other superintendents and other people that live outside of Florida to be on our podcast. So it's just a way that we can highlight not only what we're doing, but highlight whatever the people in the community and around the nation are doing. Another little neat thing we're going to do is we are actually building a second studio where we can have a live audience. So we're going to have a podcast booth, and we're buying a nice little sofa with other chairs and all, where we can have, for example, we might have kids or something in the audience where they could ask questions of the people, at the booth. And we just bought one of these little round cushion balls with a microphone so we can toss it around. So that's something neat. We're trying to really add a lot of energy to our podcast. So if any of you are interested in being in our podcast, actually Melissa right here scheduled those for me. Just reach out to Melissa or reach out to me, and we'll definitely set up a time because we want to highlight what you're doing, maybe your business or your organization, because we want to try to show how much we're partnering with our local community. Take the last part of this, talking about some of the building we have going on, and thank you again for the $300 million bond that Gina Sims helped us to get. Gina was really instrumental in helping us to pass that bond, and really was out there as part of our committee. But as you know, right now, as I stand here, we are building 5 brand new schools right now. We have 2 schools. Well, we have a elementary school in Crescent City. Before I get there, let's talk about the elementary school here in Palatka. This is Palatka Intermediate School, and it's located at the site of the old E.H. Miller on Horseman's Club Road. And you're looking at it, this is a very recent photograph, but this will house our grades 3 through 6 starting next year. They will actually be in school there next year. I've toured that a number of times. It has a gymnasium. It has a large cafetorium where you can have big events there. It has a stage, has an amazing library, and the classrooms are just high tech. Everything you can imagine are in those classrooms. So that's our Palatka Intermediate. And then the next one, this is the school we're building in Crescent City. And if you're familiar with Crescent City, it's we bought some property on the corner of Union Avenue and Huntington Road. And that's exactly, let's see, if you look at there, there's the, on the top corner, that's the intersection of Union and Huntington. So that's a K through 6 school. It has a gym here on the back. There's a little more room there so we can spread it out a little bit more. But that should be ready by the end of this year, and it will be up and going for sure next year. And that will be, our board just, will be naming that. And it's going to be, it's going to house the former Middleton Bernie, which is just down the road, and those students will move just half a mile down the road and occupy that school. And then here is Crescent City Junior Senior High School, and that's actually the way it looks when it will be finished. And this is one of these phased-in projects, and we are actually paying for this with state money. High school is a lot more expensive to pay for, so we're not using bond money for this. We received about $95 million in state funding to build this high school. The only problem is we're building in phases, and because we don't have any place to put the kids. So we're building buildings, and then we're demolishing buildings. So as we build, we'll move kids into those buildings, and then we'll demolish and build and demolish. So let me show you this building right here is a new 7th and 8th grade wing. It's a 2-story wing, and they plan to move in there by the end of next month. Okay, that quick. And then this wing in the very back right here, that's our CTE wing. We're going to have welding, automotive, ag, something else I'm missing, but we call that our dirty CTE. That's where all the trades are. And then right over here is that building on the end, that's our new gymnasium. And actually, they just have the walls up there now, and that should be ready to go by next year. But the rest of it is yet to come, and if you're looking at it, Highway 17 is down here, going this way, and Union Avenue is going that way, so it's right at the corner of that intersection. Our next phase is for high schools. Once we finish building this and pay it off, we have to pay a certain amount of money to the state. Our next school we're going to build is Interlochen Junior Senior High School, and that'll be in our second phase. And then the third one will be a new Palatka Junior Senior High School, and that'll probably be well into the 2030s before that will happen, probably long after I'm gone. But the ones that are currently in the process of breaking ground is a new, we call it our Palatka Primary School. If you know where Kelly Smith Elementary is, we bought additional property to the south of Kelly Smith, and we will be starting construction there any day now, and we'll build that out, and that will be our Palatka Primary School, grades kindergarten through 2nd. We will be closing down Mosley, James A. Long, and of course Kelly Smith, beginning the year 27-28. So 2 years from now, we'll be occupying that. Next year, when we open the new Palatka Intermediate, which is grades 3 through 6, we will move this kindergarten through 2nd grade out of Kelly Smith, move them along with the students at James A. Long, and then the kindergarten through 2nd graders at Mosley will remain there. So we'll have to do that for next year just to be able to demolish the school and finish out the building. And then we're also about to break ground on a new Melrose Elementary School. And we're demolishing everything at Melrose except a couple of buildings and the gym. The gym is a very historic site, so that will remain. But they're very excited about the new construction happening there. And the very end of our construction will be major renovations in about 3 of our existing elementary schools. So again, that pretty much concludes the presentation, and I want to give you a few minutes if you have any questions about anything we're doing or anything about construction. Be glad to hear it.